They hit a snag in the first regional, but Vitality has bounced back and are now in the semifinals, making their way to another grand finals on the path there anyways. I'm Wave Park, joined by Achieves, and we got the Misfits on the other side of things. The team yet to lose an overtime this season, Achieves.
It's been a wild ride for them to be sure, but definitely a tough test. Overcomable? Certainly. Going to be easy? No, by any stretch of the imagination. Alpha was playing very well yesterday in their match against Flying Dutchman, and I think that it might prove a little more difficult playing Misfits here, because I think the defense might be a little more better suited to handle Vitality's approach than Flying Dutchman was, so definitely doable, but a lot to ask. You really need to execute against a team like Vitality.
The Misfits in the blue, Vitality in the orange, a best of 7 to move forward here. Gotta win 4. Fairy Peak out to K-Dop. Arju will try to intercept. Matane now falling back to K-Dop, coming with Alpha. No, stolen by Cash, taking him to the backboard, and Fairy Peak plays it to the outside. Dump back in, Matane looking for a shot. Alpha will deny. And now Cash back towards the goal. Misfits using my tried and true favorite strategy of just always shoot the ball straight at the net and force them to make saves.
Not a bad strat, but versus Vitality, they're so disciplined on defense, and they tend to take real good care of the ball on their own half, so they may need to have a little bit of chaos if they want to break down Vitality, or depend on Cash to find a gap in the net. Again, taken away by Alpha 54 driving across, and finally, first chance for Vitality to get on offense.
Well, the onslaught's working. They got 2 Vitality defenders to bite on it. There was no room to pressure it afterwards as they merged with control, but now the infield passes. Oh, what a stop! It still goes in! Cash puts the pressure on him and gets the first goal of the day.
I want to see if the Vitality players ran into each other here. I mean, Alpha definitely taking his time. Got a little in front of it, and ooh, yeah. K-Dop needs to either let Alpha know that he's got that, or that's so tough. K-Dop just wants to drive across the net there because he's got the strong touch. He doesn't want Alpha to get that weak backflip, so that's kind of the plan there, and they both kind of go against each other. Tough break for Vitality.
Man. It's not often thing you see from a Vitality roster of self-bumping. Like, a double commit's one thing, but a player going up for a ball and the other player bumping him off of it, obviously they got a wheel onto it, but still was not good enough. The ball rolled on in, and Misfits will enjoy the first lead here in the series. Game number 1, ball rolling at midfield. Matane challenging Alpha, gets the pass 2. Cash has a cut back on this one, make a save, dives across, and Arju now to follow it up, wins the challenge against Fairy Peak. What a stop. And now Matane looking for a counterattack onto the backboard. Little ping pong through Alpha 54 and go back to midfield, but Cash wins another challenge. Misfits looking good in the midfield.
You do really have to like how Misfits have been playing. You're right, excellent in the midfield. They've done a pretty good job of preventing Vitality from really having long stints on offense. Alpha just misses a setup. Matane quick to realize Fairy Peak coming in. He's going to help out his teammate. And Arju with a chance to put one away. Goes under Alpha. He's going to dive off the backboard. Nice stop. And Cash to set up Matane. Fairy Peak stretching. And of course, he's too good.
K-Dop onto the backboard. Arju down, and Cash will get the clear away. And now I'm back out to Arju. A nice pick it up in goal. Send it back out. The player that gave it to you. Now, 2 minutes left to go. Matane pushes it in the midfield. Fairy Peak just sends it towards the goal. Cash is actually the last player back here. Retreating defense had to play it from the midfield. And Fairy Peak now back to K-Dop. The ball is very slow at the moment. They've killed all the momentum on this ball, which makes it a lot more difficult for the offense. They have to expend boost to get up to it and then try to apply pressure. But look at that! K-Dop finds the shot. Fairy Peak, I think, found the demolition. And we're got a tie game.
Yeah, Cash just kind of gets pushed off the ball there. Fairy Peak pressing, and Matane under duress, looking up at K-Dop, might have lost track of Fairy Peak coming through for the demo, and Arju, unfortunately, he was going to think about going off to grab boost, but Zero in the tank recognized his team was in trouble, couldn't get back to it. Vitality find a way to get back on the board and tie things up.
Matane now up against Fairy Peak off the corner. Cash looking for another shot, takes it to the side again. Following the kickoff, they're looking to immediately regain the lead. Arju sitting there waiting for the ball, now onto the top. K-Dop and Fairy Peak, slow plays here, but look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, tag team Alpha looking for a double tap, and Cash will take it away. All 3 players getting involved on the clear, and the counterattack expeditious there from Vitality.
Cash mechanics going to be invaluable on defense, because you already know that out of anyone, most likely going to be Alpha applying pressure with the hard double taps off the backboard, and Cash's speed in that situation, imperative that he gets to it first.
Cash off the wall. Arju can try and follow this up, but Alpha intercepts. Now Matane in the corner with a bump on one. Fairy Peek's there. Back across. Here's Arju.
Oh, nice.
Inch underneath K-Dop, and it goes to Alpha, the third man in the back. Lofts it upfield, chases it down himself. Matane with the wall carries. Now a shot from Alpha. Oh my goodness, Fairy Peek taking it out of the corner. Vitality's got the lead.
Yeah, this was a great bit of shooting from Fairy Peek. K-Dop, nice touch, take it away from the defense. Fairy Peek quick to it. How about reacting to where Arju was coming at his line? Fairy Peek knew he didn't have a double tap. Angles the car down, spikes it all the way across the net too to beat Cash as well. So placement perfect from Fairy Peek there.
Arju and Cash getting corralled over to the side here following the kickoff. Matane and the third man out to Arju, looking for a second touch. Lofted in front of the goal.
Wow.
Alpha followed out. Vitality gave them some space for a tying goal.
They didn't expect it either. They were all about to leave. They were all thinking that clear from Vitality was going to make its way through. So when it just bounced in front of the box for free, Cash trying to go under Alpha, and great defense again. Misfits, last push here.
Final 6 seconds. Arju off the backboard. Cash comes in. Challenge against Fairy Peek goes neutral, and Arju onto the wall. Off the ceiling with the reset. Across to Cash, but K-Dop intercepts. Matane will keep it alive. Fairy Peek's to try, but Cash challenging in the corner. Matane, what a touch, but Arju was hoping it was going to be for him, and it'll go to the ground. Vitality take game number 1.
Yeah, Arju just not sure whether or not Matane was going to have the ability to react to that touch in time, so he starts jumping, and unfortunately at the wrong moment, Matane indeed able to get up to that one. Tough break for Misfits. I mean, you got to like Vitality's poise there. Definitely under a lot of pressure early on in the game, able to find a way and break out. And while they didn't really have too many extended stays on offense, they did convert the few couple of chances that they were able to open up. And really the only goal that Misfits scored was a mistake. So Vitality looking pretty solid in game 1.
Misfits here, yeah, like you said, the one goal did come with a bump there in net. So, I mean, I like the pressure. I at the beginning of the match, I said, they're playing a strategy of shoot at the net and force them to make saves. And if you're just now tuning in, you'd be like, that's all of Rocket League. What are you talking about? What I'm more specifically referring to is a strategy of anytime you have control of the ball, just take a shot at the net. Just always put the pressure on. Don't be like, we got to find a pass, stuff like that. Because it forces the other team to really be honest in net. They have to drive across. They have to go for saves. I don't think that strat here will work. You're not gonna force many mistakes out of Vitality. You're gonna have to be a little bit more creative to bait some of the best players in the world out of their net.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to at the start of that first game. You're really going to have to rely on a bit more creativity or chaos in the net. You need to find some way to get somebody out in front, which generally Matane and Arju are pretty familiar with. Back on Galaxy Racer, I mean, they're pretty dangerous when they get a ball in a dribble out of a corner. They were pretty dang good at finding ways to get that ball stuck out, popped into the middle, and set up a demo. So it's definitely something that's in their toolkit. It's just a matter of, do they have the space to execute on that potential plan? So passing and the demolition is definitely going to be a much more important part here of the offense. You can't really just expect Cash to be able to out-mechanic everybody. As here comes Alpha 54 off the backboard. Nobody else there for Vitality, though, and they're going to work their way out.
It was K-Dop, then Alpha, and I think the third man, Fairy Peek, was out rotating. It's all right. Here's a play back in the goal again, and Matane will make the stop. Now Arju and Cash, weird commit there as Cash comes out of the backfield and Matane leaps over his shoulder. And it creates enough of an opening that Vitality is able to keep the pressure on. Cash down the field. Here's Fairy Peek, lofting it for himself. The flip reset wins a challenge. K-Dop to try and cover up Arju. And Alpha, okay. We're seeing midfield lateral play here from Misfits. They're not necessarily looking to hit the ball into Vitality territory, but play it off to the wall. And while it's not the best way to develop their field position, it is seeing them continue to win challenges and get to the ball first.
Yeah, and that was also a strat that I liked out of Flying Dutchman. Definitely moving the ball horizontally across the pitch, forcing Vitality to spread the field, trying to open up a few more gaps. And so I don't necessarily dislike the idea. Oh, nice fake here to try and force Alpha to give a little space for Cash down to Matane, and Fairy Peek, too smart, coming in at just the right time.
A wonderful setup, but third man of Vitality breaking it all down. And slide over rotation, but no. Here's K-Dop to the sky. Onto the wall up against Cash. Now across the field to Arju. He's got two defenders in front of him, but beats one. Fairy Peak gets caught on the wall. Matane takes a shot and it goes in. Oh my goodness. Misfits up on top again.
Yeah, I think Fairy Peak got caught here with no boost. Yeah, down in front of his goal line. He's only got 5 here, so he can't really jump at it. Has to really try and gauge where Matane is. Unfortunately, Fairy Peak doesn't know his teammates rotated in under him. I think if Fairy Peak doesn't touch that, they might have pulled that one off the line too.
Misfits have scored first in both games 1 and 2. Can they hold on to it this time? Ball dies in the midfield. Alpha takes it to the sky. He's got Arju beat already. Cash has got to get a nice read and does. Off to the side. K-Dop. Now through. He's got Fairy Peak in the midfield. Pinched against Cash. Fairy Peak will get it neutral. Alpha now to the sky. Will play it to the corner. Cash bumped off the ball.
Good demo.
And a demolition onto Fairy Peak will open things up here. Arju takes to the sky, resets his flip off the ceiling, gets a shot out of it, and Alpha 54 takes it off the backboard into the outside. Approaching halftime. Similar story to game number 1. Misfits with a 1-goal lead.
Ooh, Cash. Not a bad idea trying to get K-Dop to freeze on the back line, but I don't know if they've got that one either. You gotta love Vitality and how well they all rotate back on defense. Feels like that backboard is never open, and that is such a great asset to have on the defensive side of things.
And they're forcing the passing game out of Misfits, and Misfits, to Misfits' credit, they're doing a great job just running into defenders every single time, even when Vitality is having to rotate back onto defense, as you said. Matane here winning another challenge. Alpha up to K-Dop, nice. Back to Fairy Peak, shot straight down the middle, but slow, and Arju clears it away.
I'm amazed Fairy Peak didn't absolutely rip into that one. Definitely something off on the timing there. That setup was chef's kiss from Vitality.
Money. Alpha and Fairy Peak now in their own corner here. Alpha with a beat on 1. He holds on to ball control here. We get to demo, but still hands over control to Fairy Peak. He's able to pinch this one out in front of the goal, but Arju off the backboard gets it away. Now Alpha back on the respawn. Good challenging Cash. Bouncing back into the corner. Here's Fairy Peak. Matane gets in front of the goal. Now Arju and Matane build a wall. Fairy Peak has to go for a back pass to nobody. Arju gets the demo and goal. And Misfits pressuring on offense. Here's Cash off the ceiling. Bouncing in again. Oh, Matane's up to try and catch it. And Arju now in for more pressure, but Alpha just widens the corner for a moment. And now Fairy Peak back down the field. All the good work undone. And they're looking to tie the game. Try to bump Matane. Not going to happen.
Was a real good fake challenge there from Cash in his own corner. Fairy Peak thinking that maybe he was going to turn, so was gearing up to cut that inside, and as soon as Cash recognized that, Fairy Peak got caught just letting the ball roll into the corner, and that bought a lot of time for Misfits to get set back on defense, but now it's a 2-on-1 back the other way. Cash all alone, and he's going to pull that one away. Fairy Peak goes right at Matane. Didn't see him lurking behind all the name tags, but Alpha's going to be able to get out in front of this one. Arju caught flat-footed on the goal line, no boost, couldn't cut out the pass.
Oh, K-Dop, look, the pass placement is so good. It's as close to Alpha as he can to give him as many shots as he wants, but also putting the distance between the box and the defender, and by nature of that, the defender, so the defender has to reach out, not able to get contact on it first, despite being closer to the area of play. Excellent pass play. Simple stuff, but very difficult to pull off. Vitality now tied up the game with 30 seconds left.
Wow. You know, we usually give K-Dop a lot of flack for not being the strongest defender, or at least we used to. Not so much sure if we do that anymore, but that was a big challenge right there. He was about to get himself in a 2-on-1. Cash fires one in the net. It's over Alpha's head.
How? It's 3 defenders here. K-Dop misses and loses the challenge. Cash up is going to beat Fairy Peak still on the ground. And then the shot placement again. Well done. Oh my goodness. Back on top here, and Misfits have the lead with 17 seconds left.
That was 100% Alpha's fault. I mean, he was in the net and ready. He just, you know, the gravity effect. He rotated all the way to the near post there when if he's camped out of the back post or even in the middle of the net, he pulls that one out. And now with 8 seconds, Vitality got to push.
Oh, K-Dop under 2, off the post, Alpha trying. Here's Fairy Peak. Yeah, get to the ball in time. Misfits take game number 2 and tie up the series.
Well done, Misfits. You had to fight for it again, but you gotta be pretty happy if you're Misfits. You know Vitality is definitely pushing, finding ways to put shots on target, but you're giving it pretty much as good as you get. So you can be happy with that, even if it does lead to some stressful situations. Takes a little mistake again, though, from Fairy Peak on the goal line. This first goal right here, you can see he takes it right away from K-Dop. Definitely had that one, and Nice job to find the late equalizer, but 2 mistakes actually, now that I think about it, because Alpha just rotates here. You can see him right at the start of that replay.
Yeah.
He was coming into the back post. He just drove all the way into the back of the net.
Yeah.
Really pulled himself out of position there.
Yeah, it really is that depth he is in the net in that spot. It's difficult when you're moving into goal there, like if he hangs back post and Cash shoots near post, it's kind of the same situation the other side. The real difference maker is how far back he is in the goal, how much he's got to spend getting to the front just to get the block in time. So
the good side is as well, it's real hard to shoot near post out of that right-hand side.
That's true. It would be a more difficult shot. So
either way, though, 2 mistakes. That every goal that they have scored on Misfits has been Vitality just not quite being dialed in. And so you got to wonder if Misfits really do have the firepower to break them down, or if it's just Vitality beating themselves a little bit.
Can Misfits continue to punish while Vitality's giving them mistakes? Because we were talking about the challenge game in game number 1 of like, oh, look at how good Misfits has been in the midfield, and that kind of continued into game 2. That challenge game is a thing that will ebb and flow as one team manages to match the speed of another team, and game 1 is usually going to be the slowest department. This is the slowest area for challenges in the midfield. So I've been watching and waiting to see if that changes here, but so far Misfits have continued to hold the edge. And if Vitality isn't able to adjust here, given it's a best of 7, I think they do have time, and Misfits is going to have to outplay them in the final few games. But right now, Misfits is happily enjoying the mistakes that Vitality's making.
Now, this will be interesting because this game 3 is kind of started off with a big, long, clear game, and I really like Cash's approach here. Change pace of play, force it into an air dribble, and try and bring it back down to that more controlled style, because I really do feel like if you start getting into the boomer ball, that is really where Vitality starts to apply a lot of pressure just because of how well they read the game and how quick they do it. Big double tap from Matane to clear the space.
That's super important, too. An egregious double commit on the goal line right before that. He had to hold on to control there, but no! They don't ever get back in position. K-Dop takes it straight down the middle of the field for goal number 1.
Nice job from Alpha here, working his way just over Cash, pushing him off the ball, and Matane, I don't think he even knew K-Dop was traveling with that play. I think he was so focused on supporting Cash, and as soon as he saw Cash get beat, stopped thinking about whether or not he actually had a line to the ball over the defense or not.
For the first time in this series, Vitality scores first. And we'll be playing from the front. It's Arju to Cash. Look at the infield pass, though. Oh, they tie it right back up.
I was on K-Dop's camera, and he definitely does the same thing pretty much that Matane just did, except he instantly recognized it. He jumped, and then it was like, wait, and he instantly backflipped to try and recover, but just a second too late. Strong clear off the backboard, right into Cash, right down the middle.
Man, the question of, all right, what'll this game look like with Vitality in the lead? Well, I guess we'll never know. We'll have to find out some other time. It's Matane. Up the outside, Alpha with a pass to K-Dop in the placement. Cash gets the stop of Matane. He just lets the ball roll. The patience from Matane to let the ball clear itself.
Yeah, that was the scary thing, Matane. There's your test of nerves. So easy to panic right there and just pop it right back down into Vitality's nose and let him score it. And now get back into that long clear game. Nice block from Cash. K-Dop wants the time. Love the approach.
Ooh, oh, is it in? Oh, it's just wide. The tiny short upfield pass there to Alpha. He just blasts one to the far corner. Ooh. Again, Cash put more pressure on the goal line here. Alpha past one. Cash will stop things, give his teammates time to rotate into goal. RG will be the first on the challenge. And this ball just dies in the midfield. K-Dop says, all right, cool. Let's just blast one to the crossbar. And again, force Misfits to play defense. It's RG to chase it down. Alpha now. Can he connect with K-Dop? Looking for it. Cash will block him at the point of contact.
Tough one. And finally, I think that touch from Fairy Peak lets Misfits really get their feet grounded on defense here. So, yeah, Vitality recognizing that. They're going to try and apply a bit more pressure, but definitely one step too far back. Needed to go regroup and grab boost. So, Misfits are going to find a way out courtesy of Cash. Nice little demo to get a little extra time to recover.
A slightly better flip reset there, I think. They have a really strong pressure on net. He reset the flip, but then the actual contact kind of just barely gave the ball a little bit of altitude. That demo definitely created a bit of distraction, bit of smoke screen, and taking away a defender, opening up the line of fire for Misfits here. But through two, Cash has got to play strong. Fairy Peak just Where's the ball going, Fairy Peak?
Hey, Cash got scared. He thought Fairy Peak was going to fire one on target.
Yeah.
Cash knew he wasn't going to make it. So Cash, I think, very fortunate Fairy Peak didn't feel comfortable lining up a shot there. And big win from Alpha. K-Dop, how do you get this out to a teammate? Oh, he tried to score it, but there's Alpha again, and they almost get it done.
Arju off the wall. K-Dop falling back, retreating third man. I think he's low on boost. They'll rotate back over and just take whatever challenge is given to him. Now Matane looking for the reset. This one pinches off the ground onto the backboard. K-Dop's there. Oh, but he misses. Alpha will have to close in out of goal. Lucky for Vitality. Misfits wasn't pressuring in the corner. On the far side here, K-Dop puts some pressure on. Back midfield pass. Oh, Alpha jumping up, making the stop. Well done.
Great pressure here. 1 minute remaining. A lot to ask here for both teams. This has been a tight one. There's been not so much openings to really score per se, but there's been some dangerous situations where if you didn't come up with a quality touch, you were definitely going to be in a real troublesome position on defense. So really pushing both teams to the limit here. Pass to Cash. He's going to look for Matane, and that's going to pinch all the way back, and that's off the wall. K-Dop overcooks it, and Arju thankfully has just enough time to find a clear. Scary one, though, for Misfits.
Ooh, dangerous plays. Cash looks for the double tap. The defender gets in the way, but Alpha now up against Arju in the corner in the final 30 seconds. He wins a challenge in the midfield, and K-Dop's taking his space, taking his time to bait in. Arju, Cash dives across and makes the stop, but Fairy Peak misses the ball. Alpha 54 now to pick it up, but Cash will block him, and the challenge game continues to be strong for Misfits. Final 8 seconds. One last attempt in regulation. Matane versus Fairy Peak. It goes to the corner. Cash is up for it. Bluffs it to the far corner. K-Dop gets the block, and Matane will let it go into the ground. Overtime in Game 3. Misfits 12-0 this season in overtime.
Now that will be interesting. If there's a team that can definitely crack a streak like that, it's Vitality to be sure. But that's a great setup. Here's Arju, a nice tip from Fairy Peak. And now Matane all on his lonesome here.
Matane with a block. Arju up for it. Cash to challenge.
Oh,
a miss in the corner.
There.
Looks for the dunk, but Alpha just tackles him. Builds a wall, and now Matane lofting it high. Cash is in no position to take this. They'll turn it midfield and find it off the wall. Now pass two under Fairy Peak. Tried so hard, but Arju now will have the ball control. Gotta
love Fairy Peak on defense. He's missed a couple balls, but when he really needs to make the touch, he's there. Vitality definitely an awkward position to find themselves in at the start of OT.
Oh, the fake! And to the back post! Alpha 54 puts it in, and Misfits are now 12-1 in overtime.
Applaud Alpha 54 here, and that is just nasty. Arju definitely thinking he was going to go for the quick shot with a strong bit of pace towards the net, and Alpha read that he didn't have a touch, let it come all the way down to the floor. Instant power shot. I mean, that's so difficult to defend for the guy on the line. I mean, Alpha could shoot that just about anywhere. And when it's right over your head, 60, 70 miles an hour, top of the box, good luck.
Yeah, no, that's, you said it. I mean, the 12-0 streak from Misfits, a wonderful bit of effort there. But if there was any team that was gonna break it here, Vitality, definitely the one to put your money on there. And Alpha 54 makes quick work of it. 2-1 so far in every single one of these games from both sides. We've got 5 goals apiece right now per team on the series. I'm honestly impressed. This has been such a close, evenly paced matchup. It's funny though, it's not been the same story on both sides. One is Vitality, I feel like, popping off on a Misfits defense that's doing its best, and the other is Vitality. We've seen K-Dop just drive past the ball. We've seen Fairy Pack just just miss the ball. We're like, what is happening?
Well, that's kind of funny though, because those situations have put Vitality at a disadvantage, but they have recovered very nicely, and yes, that to me is kind of the difference. Because, like you said, you see Misfits kind of doing their best on defense, and Vitality aren't playing their best defense, and they're still keeping it tight and playing incredibly well. And that, to me, I think is going to be the difference maker. Vitality's defense very well likely going to be the ones that, if this particular brand of game keeps going, I think is going to lead them to a victory here. They're just better when it comes to keeping Cash, Arju, and Matane out of the net.
Alpha, ooh, look at the fakes. Trying to bait a player up. Bait the front line defense into the sky, and then just flip back to the ground without touching the ball. Through 1 K-Dop here in net with Matane jumping for it. Makes the stop. Nice pre-jump from K-Dop. And now the little passes from Alpha 54 to break up Cash. He's off the backboard and makes the touch off the play, off the wall. Now RG with the back pass to K-Dop. Or Alpha, excuse me, with the back pass to K-Dop here and trying to get over the top of Matane. And midfield challenge game stayed strong. It stayed consistently strong with Misfits. The infield pass just a little bit too ahead of Matane.
Yeah, Matane wanted that touch to go literally anywhere but into that corner. They had the Vitality defender stuck on the line and in a bad spot. Big miss from Fairy Peak puts Alpha 54 alone on the back wall, and I'm not sure if he got his boost stolen. He did.
Arju wins the challenge off the post and back in. Nobody challenged him up in front, and Misfits score first.
And it's funny that boost steal on Alpha actually makes a difference here, because if he's allowed to rotate back in the net, I think he's going to be sweeping across the goal right when that pings off the back post. So one step behind it, bouncing back to Arju. And Misfits again, for the third time this series, find themselves out in front, but that's the question, can they hold on to it? One goal is not enough to stop Vitality.
It has not been enough at any point in this series. You got to win. You got to score 2 goals to win right now. It's K-Dop here.
Oh.
Down the midfield, taking his time. You know what? He chooses to go for the boost and give Arju the ball.
Well, he knew he didn't really catch that ball cleanly, so I think the logic there is just let him roll, let it roll, go steal their boost so that they don't really have much of a counterattack going, and let your teammates clear whatever Arju does.
I mean, he probably was also out of boost himself and knew that he would hold on to perceived ball control for long enough to not just be handing the ball over in a you know, super disadvantageous way. Say, hey, you know what, let's just go refill the tanks with the most valuable pad on the board. Fairy Peak just hitting the corner. Now K-Dop up for this one. A nice ping out. But no player there. Cash back down against Alpha. Fairy Peak to K-Dop here. Nice loft. Again, caping it up, but Alpha just having one too many touches in that final one. Misfits defense able to read just fine. Here's K-Dop looking for it off the post. It rolls up and away. Matane will carry it to the corner.
Tough sequence there for Misfits, and Arju in definitely the right state of mind there just to slow pace for just a second. They need to make sure they're set up, and there's Alpha going for that delayed flip. Again, it's great misdirection, Alpha 54. You're not going to find many people better at that move.
Arju through one. Out of the corner, Fairy Peak will play it down the field, and K-Dop will try to connect on one, now 2 touches. Matane out of his box. Fairy Peak moved up and is now going to be more out of position. It's going to be up to K-Dop and Alpha here.
Oh, here we
out
go.
Of the corner. Alpha got caught on the post. Oh, the shot from Cash just wide. Follow from Arju to the other side. And now to the top. Matane up. No, K-Dop reaches in time, and now the counterattack. Here comes Alpha.
And those are the possessions that make you think that's why Misfits may not win this game, because that's when you really had Vitality on the ropes there. You need to convert it when you've got so many decent looks at the net like that.
Accuracy just a bit wide the whole time. And when they finally had one on target, Vitality had gotten their feet back under them. Make the stop. 120 left to go. Misfits holding on to the lead in this game, though. So far, Vitality has yet to score, so
they have found
Alpha trying to change that. Now it drops it in. Alpha heard us from all the way across the pond and said, hold it. We got this.
Not a bad idea for Matane, trying to fake out Fairy Peak, and finally Cash misses one. Definitely an awkward position to try and jump up at that ball, but this is the one time it costs them. Alpha were ready for it. He jumped all over it.
8 shots apiece per team in this game. Both teams with opportunities, but one team with better accuracy. A tie game. Here's Arju off the backboard. Cash in to try and finish it. Goes to the wall, and K-Dop chases down Alpha. Gets it through one. Matane now through the sky up against Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak receives the falling action.
There's a good demo.
Oh, Fairy Peak demolished. Arju trying in the corner here. 40 seconds left, though. Tie game. A 2-1 scoreline looking yet again likely.
Oh, man, Cash is driving around the pitch right now, just hoping to find boost. He took a big risk, went all the way to the Vitality half just to find 100. Thankfully, Arju and Matane able to handle the pressure. 20 seconds. The Misfits have one more good push in them before the end.
I don't know. There was a weird double commit on offense. Arju alone is back third. He holds on just fine. Final 10 seconds. Now Arju's upfield after the clear. Fairy Peak. A solid touch, a necessary touch. Cash to the sky. K-Dop's up there to meet him, and it goes to the edge. The clock will expire. 1-1 into overtime. We're going to have our third 3-goal game.
You got to get it back if you're Misfits here. Advantage point for Vitality if they win. And, ooh, trying to chop it down lower left-hand side. Very Peak not able to get around it. And a great start to the OT for them as well. Arju panics and lets K-Dop regain control there.
K-Dop wins another challenge, neutralizes another challenge, which, given the field position, it works out in his favor. Alpha over 1. Matane trying to pass out to Arju now with space. K-Dop will stop. Receive, pass to Fairy Peak. He puts it off the backboard in an awkward hop. But, that pings out onto Arju's hood. He's now on the counterattack. Trying to set up Cash here, but isn't able to get a strong enough second touch.
He was really trying to figure out how to get that one middle. He knew it needed to happen, but the pace of the ball was just so that he couldn't ever really find a good way to do it. And Fairy Peak, great command on the goal line there. Just take it on the dribble, put the big part of the car right behind the middle of the ball. So tough to out-challenge someone when they're positioned that way as Alpha drills one through the midfield line of the Misfits.
Arju off the respawn, carries it across the backboard. And now up to K-Dop on the back line. Through one. Takes the awkward bounce off the ceiling, reset versus Cash here. Can he hit it? Oh, Cash with the save on the goal line to keep the game going.
How do you stay flat-footed there against a guy like Alpha? Huge stop from Cash, and he needs to make another one there. K-Dop was on his horse. And now it's Alpha needing to make a block. Hard bounce for Matane, and he overdoes it, skies it high, and Misfits again leave one that should find its way into the net.
On Fairy Peak now onto a backboard. He's got some space, but Arju will beat him off the ground. Now look to catch it here. K-Dop trying. Fairy Peak demolished. Cash up. And look at the challenge from Alpha. Here's Matane now. Flip reset. Over 1. Got 2 defenders to the corner. But this ball went so high. Cash has got to win this challenge. And no, K-Dop, following the double commit, manages to win a challenge on the wall. Now Fairy Peak.
Cash.
Back away. Cash into Arju. K-Dop off the ceiling to play it away, but he's giving the ball back to Misfits. Can they find the goal?
That passing execution leaving a little bit to be desired. Triple commit there for Misfits. We'll see if they can recover. They don't have a good spread of the field right now. They may have to just retire and let Vitality out.
Okay. Cash now. Getting the ball in the corner. K-Dop through one. Arju up to challenge it. And Vitality has been trapped in their own half. Fairy Peak, what's happening? It drops in. Cash, a complete collapse on defense for Vitality, and Misfits will take a win.
Fairy Peak's thinking, cool, Alpha's got that. Fairy Peak also looking at it, says that's high, and I also have no boost, so I'm going to try and drive up the side of the net, and Cash puts a perfect touch on the ball to get back in there. So tough stuff, Vitality. Another mishap. Let's Misfits find a goal. And now we're all locked up at 2-2. Game 5, big one here. You really could dice it either way, whichever flavor of team you prefer, I suppose. I'd believe both at this point, but if you ask me, I think Vitality is playing the more refined game, and still got to give the edge to them despite the unfortunate end to that game right there.
I mean, props to Misfits here, improving to 13-1 now in overtimes. They've only dropped. The streak of undefeated, of never losing in overtime is a astonishing stat.
It's okay. They still have a 13-0 ratio.
13-1 is pretty good. Like it's the thing about how strong a team is. Being able to clutch up games that consistently, and here now with a 1-1 in overtimes versus Vitality, 2-2 on the series. This one is lighting up right now. And I my confidence in Vitality in that game there, now it has started to wane because there has been those defensive mistakes throughout this entire series. And it wasn't a big deal to me because I was like, this will get cleaned up as we move forward. Vitality, wonderful at adapting and fixing their problems on the fly. That one cost them a game here at Chiefs.
See, that's what I think is so fun, because I haven't really lost any confidence in Vitality, because I know the defensive mistakes can get, they can recover, have recovered from them, and can get cleaned up. But I'm starting to question the offense of Misfits, because they've left a lot of chances that need to be converted. And so, like you said, you can pick whichever flavor you like. You can taste it.
I'm not at this point, because we're into game 5.
Yeah.
my thoughts of, okay, this team's going to fix their problem. We're over the halfway point. I'm starting to think, no, I think this might just be the theme of the match at this point. A slightly inaccurate Misfits offense versus a slightly Swiss cheesy defense from Vitality. Which one's actually going to end up winning there? Hold on to your hats. It's been 2-1 every game, and we're at 2-2 on the series. Who knows?
Time will tell.
Yeah.
And early on, no one really able to get anything really started here. Matane trying to take the first look at it. Yep, there's, of course, that Loctite backboard defense from Vitality. Really haven't found much up there the entire series.
Here's Matane. K-Dop will neutralize it to the edge. Cash will have ball control here, but Fairy Peak will go for second touch, play it over his head. Win the challenge ultimately. Arju now taking his time getting control in the corner here, but he's been given all the space in the world. Alpha will ping it off him. K-Dop looks for a shot, and Cash will take it away. Down the field, Arju, who gets it around the backline defense, and Alpha has to dangerously court this ball across his goal.
Still looking at Cash, and that speed on defense is a big contributing factor to the success. Again, able to break up a Vitality approach, but with no boost here pushing forward, he's going to collect 100 at this midfield, but now what do? Drive it into a brick wall.
Arju with a backflip in the midfield. It's going to be a little out of the play, but Matane with space. Push the ball back to the front. Now here's Arju. In the corner up against K-Dop. A miss from both players. The ball just lofts behind him. I think both was misread each other. Ooh. Now the ping down the field. Arju off the wall misses, and Cash has got to get a stop here. It's just enough to push Alpha into the corner.
Almost halfway done in game 5. It doesn't even feel like it's been a minute to me.
It is. We are approaching halftime, and neither team has scored. I think this is the latest we've gone without a goal. As Cash looks to put on goal number 1. Oh, Alpha's loose. Arju's up for it, but it hits a very soft touchdown. Matane now up to block. Oh, Fairy Peak gets in his way. And Cash now trying to gain control, see if he can keep this pressure going on a very flat-footed Vitality defense.
Oh, what a save, Fairy Peak, my guy. How do you pull another one out?
There's Matane. Alpha off the backboard gets it away. Now Fairy Peak in the midfield, get it through. Arju's got to find a save here, and he'll get it off of his own crossbar and out. But hey, it's good. It works.
Some scary stuff for both teams, and must-touch ball for Alpha. Indeed, right to him, and this one might be your first 0-0 OT.
It might be. Here's Cash. To the edge. Alpha. To take control. A nice flick. Fairy Peak to try and leap for this one, but then has to gets called off. K-Dop keeps the ball in his corner away from his goal. Now Alpha through 1. K-Dop trying to pass back to Alpha here as they advance on the offense. Slow play, but K-Dop takes the shot, gets 2 defenders out of it. Fairy Peak got to advance quickly here, but not quickly enough. Arju, the third man, out. Plays the ball to the midfield. Now Alpha. Oh, the flip reset over 1. Cash and Arju leaping. Oh, dear. Nearly putting it into their own net, but Arju not even close from his perspective.
Rare one for Cash to be mispositioned like that, and you're right. Arju did have to react because he's so used to Cash just going up and taking that one away. Scary one to be sure, and this is real awkward. You never want to be air dribbling it towards your own corner. Yeah. Thankfully, Vitality really not well positioned, and a big miss from K-Dop lets Misfits out.
I don't know. It gave me a season 3 Torsos vibes of picking up the ball in your own half and just air dribbling it for a little bit, just to keep it away. There's 2 defenders. There's 2 enemy players in my corner here. You know what? If I just air dribble here, they'll sit there and watch, and I can give my teammates time to figure out what they're doing behind me. And with 30 seconds left, a 0-0 game. Fairy Peak follows down Cash into the corner, up against K-Dop, looking for an awkward bounce. Here's Matane, through 2. Arju's got an open net, but he misread it. Oh, he was too early in the air. You said it, wasn't able to adjust.
Tough one as well. Cash, surprising to see him work his way through. Floater for Fairy Peak, just off the mark. And Misfits so close, but so far, Matane is still able to stretch one through. Arju needs to put it on target. Fairy Peak, a diving stop, and indeed, Vitality survive.
Wow, what a stop. And we're into overtime. Achieves, you called it 0-0, a 1-goal game. No matter how you slice it. Alpha trying to find the win. as this one bouncing off the crossbar. Looks like Alpha probably low on boost, gets called off by K-Dop, and he plays it to midfield. Now Alpha, after the refill, dropping dangerous. K-Dop, no, he puts it to the edge. Matane couldn't reach it in time, and Vitality are on match point.
Alpha absolutely sticks this one. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, you're going to lose every time when you don't have the ability to pick up the midfield boost on your way back. There's nothing in the corner, and Alpha beats Cash to the ball, sticks it on the backboard for the second challenge, and the guy rotating back who didn't get the boost in the midfield is like, I have no idea how I'm supposed to stop a K-Dop at full momentum. The answer is you don't.
Yeah, many men have tried to write books on the subject. None of the books are very good. K-Dop is undefeated in that circumstance. And now Vitality, with match point 1 win away from taking the series and advancing to yet another grand finals at this level of competition. And we heard the rumors yesterday. We thought it might happen here. Vitality versus BDS, a classic match, like one of the greatest matches you can have in this region right now. Still on the table here. Vitality trying to do their part.
Not done yet, though. That was easily possible of going the other way. Like you say, I mean, Matane just jumping too early for a free shot on target. Again, Misfits just that close, man. Just refine the offense a little bit, and you might feel good about picking them for 2 straight, but they got to show you they got it here in game 6. You have to really put a strong performance out.
And I think one thing we were talking about coming into this, I said in game 5, I'm sort of counting out the option of Vitality swallowing up their defensive holes and fixing up their mistakes. They're in game 6, or no, for game 5, excuse me.
Oh, they're going to score.
Not much, but they're going to score here off the start. That first kickoff goal of the series.
Yeah, perfect kickoff. Just straight back to him. Cash comes up empty, and he was going for the glory there. He's trying to put that one on target because he knows there's 2 players stuck in the midfield. He saw Alpha go out to the corner and start driving towards the middle to go for that ball. And so if Cash hits that, very likely an open net back the other way.
Matane now looking for a response on the earliest goal of the series after the game with the latest goal. And oh man, they got 2 defenders up for it. RG's going to try and reach, but difficult read, low on boost. Cash so aggressive, the shortest of rotations possible out of that corner.
Flip reset.
Now Matane, flip reset under 1. RG's up in the corner. Defenders going to be bumped into each other in goal. And all the triple commit out of Vitality, yet Arju not in position to immediately put the pressure back to a teammate. Matane had fallen back.
Execution a little bit lacking. Matane not able to catch the flip reset at the right time, and as well, Cash unable to find a gap between 3 defenders. Again, very peak, and K-Dop going to go at it at the same time, but that clear is so strong, it's all the way out to the safety of the corner. And Misfits can't find an opening.
Man, I just don't remember the last time I saw that hard of a triple commit
yeah.
in the RLCS.
And they were all like, oh man.
And I don't know if I've ever seen that hard of a triple commit in the RLCS and it have not result in a goal. Misfits just not in front of the box to pick up what was handed to him and still trailing by 1 despite getting Vitality to make some of the worst defensive mistakes you can possibly commit.
Like that little chip from K-Dop there to see if you can get the defense to bite. Misfits on their first defensive sequence of game 6. And Alpha trying to muscle his way through. It's actually going to work itself out. It goes straight back to Fairy Peak. Arju, he's caught on the back wall here off a respawn. And as the old adage goes, if they're on the wall, shoot it at the floor, they very likely don't make it.
Indeed, Alpha got the flip reset, immediately uses it to put power behind that ball, piles up the defenders in front of the goal. And Fairy Peak's just sitting in the third man, reading the play. Sees the shot opportunity, bam, 2-0, Vitality. In a decisive game.
Oh, it missed.
A win here puts them forward. Matane now trying to challenge as K-Dop's giving him a little bit of space. Fairy Peak take things back to midfield.
And now you really get to see the experience of Vitality. 2-goal lead, 3 minutes on the clock to blow through. Oh man, you already know they're going to take 0 risks. They're always going to have somebody deep back, and it's all going to be about how Misfits change the pace up, get an air dribble, maybe a demo, and see what they can make work. Because you already know Vitality has entered don't do anything stupid mode.
Yeah, especially with the 2-goal lead, as you highlighted there. It just gives that extra buffer. Here's Cash, running out of options. Arju now into Matane. Fairy Peak with a win-on-1. Cash to the sky, getting challenged off the ceiling. And the challenge will go Vitality's way. Across halftime, Arju to the goal. Soft and dangerous, but K-Dop will loft it just a little bit. Cash to try and follow it up, but played to the corner by Fairy Peek off the wall. Matane looking for the trap here. Past one, and now looking for bumps, but Alpha recovering off the wall takes control and into an empty backfield. Can he beat the one player? Gets the bump on him. Oh! It pinches off of his own hood and out. Cash doing just enough to keep his net clean.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen anyone actually save the air dribble bump attempt.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that get pulled out.
It's like, I don't know, you're trying to get pinned to the net and you have just like one finger out. Just enough to successfully like thwart the point from being scored.
I think he might have used Alpha's car. Oh, but he loses the next challenge. Fairy Peek straight through him. 3-0. Good night, Misfits. It's been a beautiful ride.
Put him out. Time of death, 141 in game 6. Down by 3 now. Not out of reach, but, well, out of reach for most people. You gotta be really tall, have a long wingspan there. I do agree with you, though. I think Cash uses, while Alpha's pushing down on him to push him away, he's boosting back into Alpha just enough to push him up into the ball and pinch it against the crossbar. Really solid moment there from Cash in what will most likely be a losing effort here.
Oh, he can get this.
On the far side, he's got space, and again, sole minute and 20. Looking for the double tap onto an empty backboard, but Fairy Peek, what a challenge. Gets the savior medal there to keep them clean.
Do you ever want to learn how to play defense? Just go watch all of Fairy Peek's replays on ball chasing. I mean, that guy he has been something else this regional, that's for sure.
And his team has not let it go in game 6, final minute. K-Dop, I would love to go back and look at the replay on why is he backwards in midfield there. We'll find that out some other time. Somebody knows. Cash. The touch to the sky, and Alpha now to catch it, and they're playing wonderful.
Oh, no.
Burn the time off the clock, and hey, you know what? Let's put in one more nail in this coffin. 40 seconds left. Up by 4. Vitality going to be going to the finals.
It's been a good road for Misfits. Definitely this one stings, though, because they're going to go back and look at all those replays, and they know they left a lot of chances that could have been converted, and that one's going to hurt. And if you ask me, this one's going to fall the hardest on Arju. He had a couple of opportunities to really put a couple of nice goals away and just didn't quite have the execution on some of his approaches. Matane as well. Cash never really got the chance to shoot in a quality goal-scoring effort. He seemed to always be taking a lot of shots with defenders in position, and there were just no gaps there. So Tane and Arju, a tough put-away series for him, and it's going to hurt.
And Vitality did exactly as you expected of Chiefs here and fixed their defensive mistakes. Again, a perfect shutout here in the final game, 0-4. And no mistakes in game number. Actually, this is 2 games in a row. They have not let any goals in. From games 5 and 6 there. Vitality popping off, showing up strong and advancing to the grand finals.